All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We're going to provide some more information about Peninsula Clean Energy's 2021 request for offers for renewable energy and storage. Here is our agenda for today. We'll go through a little bit of housekeeping on how the webinar will work. We'll do some introductions, talk about the schedule, how to communicate with us during the RFO period, the products we're looking for, how to submit your bid, our evaluation and shortlist, and then at the end, we'll get to Q&A. So for housekeeping, everyone's microphones have been disabled. At the end, we'll get to a Q&A portion, and you guys can submit any questions you have by clicking on the Q&A button. Any questions that we discussed during the webinar, as well as any questions that are submitted through the Q&A form, we will be posting all of those to the RFO website. Participants' videos are also disabled, and we are recording this presentation, and we will post it along with the slides to the RFO website after the call. So some introductions. I'm Siobhan Doherty. I'm the Director of Power Resources here at Peninsula Clean Energy. Also with us today, we have Chelsea Keys, our Senior Power Resources Manager, Mehdi Shariari, our Senior Renewable Energy Analyst, and Sarah Matta, our Renewable Energy and Compliance Analyst. So the goal for today is to solicit, to tell you guys about our RFO, wherein we're going to solicit competitive offers for renewable energy plus storage, standalone storage, and we're looking for both filling our energy goals that we've set for ourselves, as well as our compliance with the California Public Utilities Commission decision on midterm reliability. And we'll get into that a little bit more on the next slide. All bids have to be compliant with the RFO specifications that we've laid out in the RFO instructions. And we intend to collect all of the relevant energy, environmental attributes, resource adequacy, ancillary service benefits from any of the projects as applicable. So just a little bit of background on the CPUC midterm reliability mandate. This was decision 2106035, issued in June of this year. I'm sure most people on here are familiar with it, but it's ordering all of the load serving entities in California that are CPUC jurisdictional to procure 11.5 gigawatts of new capacity statewide. A portion of these must be in the form of long lead time resources, which is defined as long duration energy storage and firm zero emitting generation. And then we've also included a link to that decision right down below. As I mentioned, we're looking for a number of different products as part of this RFO. So we're looking for renewable energy from variable resources, i.e. wind, solar, small hydro. We're looking for renewable energy that meets the definition of firm clean resources, and that's as defined by the CPUC in that midterm reliability decision. We're also looking for renewable paired with storage, standalone storage, and we've also asked for shaped offers, where we've provided a specific shape of renewable resources we'd like to receive in the offer form. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail as we get through these slides. So just a little bit about Peninsula Clean Energy. We've been operating since 2016. We've been serving San Mateo County, and starting in April of next year, we'll also be serving the city of Los Banos. We have a goal to provide our customers with 100% renewable energy by 2025. We have 2 investment grade credit ratings. Our cash balance as of our audited financials for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2021 was $170 million. Of this, 97% was unrestricted, and this represents 256 days of cash on hand, which is higher than what our board policy requirement is of 180 days. So summary, we're in a very strong financial position. We provide electricity service to about 300,000 customer accounts, and our annual load is approximately 3,600 gigawatt hours. And then we have our website link down below. And on our website, we also have all of our financial statements. All right, I'm going to hand this off to Chelsea to talk about our schedule and let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. Again, yes, my name is Chelsea, and thank you again for joining us this morning. I will begin with the schedule for our RFO. We first issued the RFO on November 18th. Our deadline to submit questions prior to the webinar that we're holding now was last Friday on December 3rd. We highlighted where we are in the schedule right now, which is the webinar that you're participating in. Next, we will update the Q&A and we will post that to our website by December 22nd. We will allow participants another opportunity to submit questions. The deadline for that is Friday, January 7th. Then staff will update the final Q&A addendum and we'll post that on the RFO website, and we will do that by January 10th. And then the deadline to submit final proposals to our RFO is Friday, January 14th at 5 p.m. Participants will be notified of their shortlist status by Monday, February 28th. And then, sorry, it's cut off a little bit, but we aim to execute power purchase agreements and negotiate those in Q3 2022. Regarding communications for this RFP, we have put all of our RFO documents on our website, which we show here. All announcements, updates, and Q&As will be posted directly on our website. If you have any questions, we provided the link to provide those questions, and then we will answer them and post them to the website. Any other communications regarding this RFO, including final offer documents, should be sent to our Penn Clean Energy 2021 RFO at peninsulacleanenergy.com address. Please remember to only submit communications to this RFO email address and not to individual employees' email addresses. We can't guarantee that we will respond to individual emails that are directly posted to us. Regarding our Q&A process, after the webinar, additional questions may be submitted through the same question form that we've previously posted. It has remained the same. Additional questions are due by January 7th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Participants are urged to submit RFO questions as early as possible in consideration of the proposal submission deadlines. Peninsula Clean Energy intends to post all questions submitted by participants before and after the webinar, as well as responses to those questions in the form of an addendum posted on the RFO website. Our answers will be posted by January 10th. All addenda shall be part of this RFO. All questions will be posted anonymously to shield the identity of participants who pose the questions. Peninsula Clean Energy's objective in posting questions and answers is to afford participants equal access to information potentially relevant to their proposals. And then next is the products that we are soliciting as part of this RFP. It's categorized by the product type. The first one is the renewable energy generating facilities from a variable resource, including wind or solar. We require that this be PCC1 eligible. It can be for new or existing projects. We're requesting a capacity size between 5 and 100 megawatts. The COD we are requesting is no later than January 2026, but our preference for a start is in 2024. For renewable energy generating facilities, meeting the definition of firm clean resources, we ask that they be firm, zero emitting generation resources, that it meets the CPUC's midterm reliability procurement decision. They have to be new projects. The expected annual capacity factor has to meet at least 80%. It cannot be use limited or weather dependent. This cannot include storage products. The capacity size must be between 5 to 50 megawatts. The COD must be no later than January 1st, 2026. Again, our preference for start would be in 2024. For renewable energy generating facilities paired with storage, we ask that they also categorize as a PCC1 eligible product paired with storage. We're seeking storage capacity between 10 and 200 megawatt hours. Duration must be at least 4 hours. Storage projects may have a duration longer than 4 hours. Generation resources may be new or pre-existing and may be variable or firm. Preference for us would be that they be co-located, meaning that there's 2 separate resource IDs. COD preference is January 1st, 2026, but preferably we like it to start in 2024. For standalone storage projects, we're seeking a size range between 10 and 400 megawatt hours. Duration must be at least 4 hours. Again, COD no later than January 1st, 2026. Preference for a start in 2024. For shaped offers, we're seeking to deliver a specific quantity of renewable energy in specific hours. And our offer form does identify the specific shapes that we are looking for. However, participants are welcome to provide their own shaped offer, and we will look at those as alternatives. The shaped offers must provide from a portfolio of new or existing renewable PCC1 or storage projects. Next slide. And now I will pass it over to Mehdi, who will go over the next couple of slides.
Thanks, Jesse. Hello, this is Mehdi. So here first I will review what is required as part of the offer, submitting offers. So all offers should be submitted to PCE by Friday, January 14th, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And all of these like submittals should be through emails to pencleanenergy2021rfo@peninsulacleanenergy.com email address. And for the subject line, make sure you use Peninsula Clean Energy 2021 RFO offer and also include your company or participant name in the subject line. As part of this submission, there are 5 documents that are required. One is the completed offer form or attachment 1. I'm going to go over a bit more detail about these in the next few slides. The second one is the narrative. Then we have the geospatial footprint of the project, and then 2 separate PDFs, which are to show compliance with PCE's sustainable workforce policy, and the other one to show compliance with PCE's ethical vendor standards. There's also an optional form that you can submit with regards to diversity questionnaire. And there are more information about this one in section 11 of the RFO instructions. And in terms of like the file names and the file format required for these documents, you can refer to the RFO instructions. So the first attachment or the first file that you need to send to us is attachment 1, which is the Excel file, and is the primary source of data for evaluating submissions. So if you are going to submit an offer, this offer form is mandatory and must be fully completed so we can evaluate your offers. And every detail about like the offer, the project, for example, where the project is located, what kind of project it is, should be included in this offer form. So a note about that, we will post a pro forma contract to the RFO website shortly. And we will also, and we will, sorry, give me a second. Sorry, my cat was here. So we will also update the offer form that will include a sheet or a tab that you can include your comments on the pro forma contract. The next file that you need to send to PCE is a narrative, and there needs to be 13 different sections in this file. So there are like such as cover letter, participant experience and qualifications, project summary, project details summary, the technology, detailed site and description. And all of these should be, as part of this narrative, should be submitted in a PDF file. And the details that needs to go under each of these sections is also included in the RFO instructions. Another file that you need to submit is the geospatial footprint. So this basically, we will use this geospatial footprint of the project to evaluate whether the project is located in a restricted area or a high conflict area for renewable energy development. So this file should be either in an S3 shapefile format, which is the preferred format for us, or you can also submit a KML file. There are more guidelines about this file, which is included in the attachment 3 of the RFO instructions. There are some other files. 2 of them are mandatory. One is a separate PDF file to show compliance with Peninsula Clean Energy Sustainable Workforce Policy, and the other to show compliance with Peninsula Clean Energy's Ethical Vendor Standard. Each of these files should be submitted as a separate PDF file. And there is also an optional diversity questionnaire, which you can refer to the RFO instruction for more details. But we will not use this as part of our decision-making or selection process. And as I said, this is optional. And in terms of evaluating the offers that we received, there are like different categories that we use to evaluate the offers. And everything is evaluated based on a score out of 100. So the first part is the value, or basically economic value of the project, which will be assigned 45 points. This is basically a quantitative evaluation of the project, where we try to understand like how the project value in terms of energy, environmental attributes, RA, with regards like to also like market prices, what is the contract cost. And this is basically modeling the project with respect to day ahead, real time, and ancillary markets. The next section is project viability, which has 15 points. And this is understanding project status regarding interconnection, site control and permits, whether there is any development risk associated with the project, and also in terms of technology viability and financial stability of the project owner or developer. The next category is 10 points for project team experience, how much the team has experience in developing renewable or storage projects. Changes to contract terms, that's like 10 points. Environmental impacts, as I discussed before, can get 5 points. Then we have impact on DAX, which has also 5 points. And we value projects that can demonstrate that workforce and community development benefits. And the next category, project location, also gets up to 5 points. And we prefer projects that are located in California, and especially in our service territory, San Mateo County. And ethical vendors standard also gets 5 points. So basically, we consider a company's business practices, environmental track record, and commitment to sustainability. And the last one is the workforce development, which doesn't get a score, but it's basically a pass or fail. And we will basically use the information provided by the participant in this section to evaluate potential workforce impacts of the project. Okay. Thanks, and I will pass to Sarah.
Great, thanks, Mehdi. Good morning, my name is Sarah Matta. I'm the Renewable Energy and Compliance Analyst with Peninsula Clean Energy, and I'll be reviewing our shortlist process. So we expect to notify the shortlisted offerers by Monday, February 28th, 2022. And if your proposal is shortlisted, you will need to submit documents and a deposit to confirm your position in the shortlist. And you have 2 weeks to submit these items. So in more detail, you'll need to submit a signed exclusivity agreement, which is included as attachment 5 in the RFO documents. And the terms of this agreement are non-negotiable. We will use the agreement language that's included as attachment 5. You must also submit a shortlist deposit. For project-based offers, the deposit is $3,000 per megawatt hour of generation capacity and $3,000 per megawatt hour of storage capacity as applicable. For shaped offers, the deposit is 4% of 1 year of project revenues, and project revenues are defined as the megawatt hours delivered times the proposed price. You must also submit demonstration of your interconnection status and your site control. And finally, you must submit your financial statements and documentation of your credit rating if you have one. So with that, I think we are ready to move on to the Q&A session.
Great, thank you, Sarah. So if anyone has any questions, we ask that you please use the Q&A function in the webinar. So at the bottom of your screen, there should be a Q&A button, and you can click on that, type in a question, and we will try to provide some answers. So just give a couple of minutes for anyone that has questions, type those in for us to review them, and then get back on here with responses. Thank you. All right, so we've got 2 questions that have come in so far. One is, will the slide deck be available after the call? And yes, we've recorded the call, and after the call, we will post both the slide deck and the recording to the RFO website. And the second question is, where can attachment 6 be found? All documents are on the website, except for the pro forma contracts. Those will be posted to the website shortly. All right, so we just received a question. If there is a fully executed interconnection agreement, would we like to receive the entire document, or is there another method that we would prefer to show proof of interconnection status? So proof of interconnection status is only going to be needed for shortlisted projects. We're not asking you guys to submit proof for every offer. If you are shortlisted, then as part of the shortlist requirements, we would ask that you submit either the interconnection study you have, or if you're at the interconnection agreement stage, a copy of the interconnection agreement. The next question is, do we have a specific term length preference? And we've offered a couple of different options in the RFO materials. We are open to different term lengths. We have some preference for slightly shorter term lengths in order to create some variety in our portfolio. But we are open to offers between 1 and 20 years. And then we received a question, can a portfolio of existing small hydros in the same area with aggregate capacity greater than 5 megawatts submit a bid? And yes, that is fine. You can submit a bid for a portfolio that gets to that minimum megawatt size. Then the next question is, will the shortlist be published? Normally, we do not publish our shortlist. Normally, we don't make anything public until we have a negotiated contract that we can execute. And now any contracts that are negotiated will most likely have to go to the Peninsula Clean Energy Board for approval. And then the next question we have is, for shaped proposals, do we expect to receive firm renewable energy, or is the expectation for a financially settled shape contract? So yes, we're looking for firm renewable energy. We have a goal to provide our customers with renewable energy at all times to meet their load, so 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so our preference for the shape product is looking for a firm renewable energy product that can help us to meet that goal. All right, and then we have received a question. Please describe whether the initial submitted offer is binding, or once shortlisted, is the contract be negotiated between the parties based on mutually agreed project parameters. We will, as part of the RFO offer, we're asking you guys to provide a price and also to respond to the contracts that will be posted if you have any comments on those contracts. It won't be binding until we have an executed contract that is approved by PCE's board. However, if there is a big difference between what we shortlist and what you are trying to negotiate during the negotiation period, we're not going to be interested in continuing to move forward with that project. Those are all of, oh, we have one more question. Yes, so the question is, could we address the statement in the RFO that Peninsula Clean Energy will consider offers from all eligible resources, but in consideration of its open position, as well as current economic trends, we do not anticipate that standalone storage projects will be cost competitive, and Peninsula Clean Energy has limited appetite for additional solar paired with storage. So as I mentioned, we have a goal to provide our customers with 24/7 renewable energy. So as we develop our portfolio of renewable energy, we're looking for resources that can help us to meet our open position. We've executed a number of solar and solar plus storage contracts. And so we have limited room in our portfolio for additional solar or solar plus storage contracts. That's what that was meant to mean. And then we have a question, is there a specific customer segment that's a focus, or does this opportunity cut across all customers? So our team is procuring wholesale power that would be used to serve all of our customers. We do not differentiate between our customer segments. Okay, that is all of the questions that we have received so far. Let's make sure we don't have any others coming in. Okay. All right, so I want to thank everyone for joining us and participating in the webinar. As we mentioned, all of the RFO documents are, or in the case of our pro forma contracts, will be available on the RFO website. We will also post this webinar recording and the slides to the website, and we'll also post any of the questions that were answered. If you have additional questions, we ask that you please submit them through the Google form that we set up. This just allows us to really organize those much more easily. And then finally, if you have any other communications, those can be sent to the email address here, and your final offer should also be sent to that email address. Please submit those by January 14th at 5 p.m. All right, thank you everyone for participating.